7:07 p.m. Stand for Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can I do roll call?
Fox?
I am here.
Corey?
Yes.
Lisa? Yes. Huckle? Kenyon?
Here.
Kirk?
Here.
Kruse? We're counting
He's
names
here.
right?
Yes. He's late.
Govt?
No.
Hoeksma? Patton?
Here.
Ries?
Here.
Ries? Zelenak?
Here.
Approval of agenda of December 5th, 2013 is presented. Does anybody have anything they want to add to the agenda? I'm hearing no.
I'm hearing no.
So,
Motion to approve?
motion to approve?
I move. Do we have to do that?
Yes.
I move to approve.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Agenda passes as presented. Approval of minutes of November 6th. I have to look them over. I move to approve the minutes of the November 6th regular meeting.
Do we need to correct any spelling, like Zelenak?
No, that's a typo. We can fix that.
That Fox's word.
Do I have any support?
You have some support. I'll support you.
All in
Wait,
favor?
I'm not supposed to say that, though, right? I second that.
Yes, you're right, second, sorry.
Second that. Nice, nice.
All in
I'm
favor?
getting better at it.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. 3 minutes for public comment. Is there any public comment? Don't rush the,
Sure,
do you have some?
yeah.
Okay.
I just have handouts that were passed out to the village council, I believe, and
Thank you.
the planning commission. Can you have that ready?
Yes.
It's just a packet that Susie and I put together, the chamber put together with events, the November newsletter, which has the calendar of events for the year that we plan on
Do I want one?
putting together, membership application, and then 3 pages of the events and a different listing with the location description and the necessities that we might need from the village council. And Sam, I heard, was appreciative of that at the village council meeting.
Very nice.
And, did you get to comment? Did I get to comment?
No.
You go for it.
It doesn't come out of my 3 minutes, though.
Oh, you like it though. Small Business Saturday, rocked.
Good.
was
Window night, best ever. Love
I
it.
noticed the towns were, or the stores were really busy.
Stores were busy, lots of people out. Really loving the chamber. Thank you.
That's
They did a good job this year. I was pretty happy with it. I wish you could have made it quit raining though.
I already requested snow next year. Let's see if they accommodate.
The rain kind of put a damper on it a little bit, but.
I presented Bachman's with their first prize for window night last night, and the club was second prize.
Where was that posted? I didn't see.
It hasn't been.
Okay.
I just took pictures tonight because it was raining last night and I wanted to get home. I was wet.
Did everybody place? Is there placement, like, however?
We had first and second.
It's actually the best.
Oh, okay.
That's
not just
Everyone
Yeah.
that participates gets a little
Right,
prize.
it was people,
Because of
people's,
the retro toys that you had in the front window.
And that was a last minute thing. The White
yes,
House.
it was people's choice and I just walked the streets and got votes. And next year we'll try to do something a little bit different to get more public people involved.
I have some ideas about that, so.
I was just gonna second that. You were there at the VFW hall on that
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yes.
That
For
was
the
cool.
chili lunch, and then the baseball team
Yeah.
sold the Ries. Had arts and crafts for the children, and overall pretty good. I didn't get back with Susie on how the chili part did, but I know baseball team got their wreaths out, and it was a busy Saturday all throughout the town. So all in all, very good.
I see room for growing on that day. There was a suggestion to maybe get the turkey trot on that day instead of the beginning of November, I think is when they normally have it.
Yeah.
So
I
it was a
think there was a
nice,
super turnout for
Yeah.
having, the only advertising was the flyers that went out and Facebook, so for the turnout, that was awesome.
and it was nice to see the young with the old and
Yeah,
in between.
yep, kids were cool.
Any other public comment?
And the village Christmas tree looks great.
Yeah, how do they get up there?
I think Ralph did it.
Sam climbs
I
up
think
there?
Ralph helps, or else there's any complaints, you can fill in the rest of the page.
It's great.
They look nice.
You
I
can
like
see it
Yeah.
like all the way down the
Very good.
street, it's really beautiful.
Any other public comment? Okay, we'll close the public comment session. Move along to correspondence. I received a letter from, it was addressed to the Michigan Computers, where'd it go? But from the local chapter of the Michigan Township Association. They're holding an annual educational conference this January at the Grand Traverse Resort in Acme. It's the first time in 60 years that the conference is north of Grand Rapids. They're expecting a couple thousand people at this conference in Traverse City, and they're renting a room to kind of show off what Antrim County has, and so the different townships are bringing things in goodie baskets, asking businesses to donate stuff for the goodie baskets to kind of get some of these tourists to come and visit us at other times here in Central Lake. So I have a copy of the letter here. I don't want to read the whole thing, but essentially it sounds like there's going to be a ton of people in Traverse City, and they'll have this room set up with Grand Traverse County and Antrim County are going to share a room opposite sides, and they're going to show us off as more of a rustic area compared to Grand Traverse County. So that's going to be something that our businesses can put in gift baskets and gift certificates to maybe draw these potential clients up in Antrim County throughout the summertime. So that's through, if you have questions, talk to Bill Gadwell.
Yeah,
He's the,
put out fireplace.
yeah, he dropped them off, and I just want to make sure everybody saw and heard about it that was here. It's nothing really necessarily DDA related, but it kind of has a lot to do with our businesses, so I thought it'd be good to bring up at the meeting.
Very good.
What's the date of the conference, do you know?
It is January 28th through 31st, 2014. And when I talked to him, he said they've booked all the existing rooms, and they're starting to book all the downtown rooms in Traverse City for that date because of the...
Because of how many people.
are
They've
showing
taken,
up.
I think he said they've taken over 2 hotels already.
Yep. So it's going to be pretty large.
Can I get a copy of that?
Sure. During the week. Yep, I'll get you a copy of this before I leave. If anybody else wants to, let me know.
You know, it might not be a bad idea to put coupons in there to bring them up here.
Gift certificates of some kind.
Yeah, exactly.
That was kind of what we were thinking. We don't have anything to sell. We're not retail, so we have nothing to sell, but we thought maybe a couple of gift certificates to put in baskets.
Well, we aren't open for the winter, but if they're here, maybe they'll come back in the summer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, just
Yeah.
take
That's definitely a
For the summer.
Yeah.
Yep, and just, you know, it'd be nice if somebody that had some lodging around here would be willing to put some coupons or
With a little
something.
package or something.
Yes.
Campground open all year.
Yeah.
Campground
Check out the
gift
reservation.
certificate.
Right until December, you don't wanna ask how many people stayed there. Maybe
So-
next year.
You know, I don't know when he has to have this by, his number's on the back. And I didn't know there was a local chapter of the Michigan Townships Association, but it's got some familiar names on the backside and some phone numbers, so.
Bill participated in it in Lansing for years.
Yeah, and he said he had tried for a long time to get him to come up north of Grand Rapids. So this might be a big opportunity to at least get more people here,
That's great.
generate some income for our businesses. Yeah. Well, even if they don't come this winter, they come in vacation here this June, you know, so, I don't know. I don't know, is there any other discussion on that? No? All right. And that's all I have for correspondence. There's no committee reports yet. Old business, board policy, procedures, and bylaws. Melissa asked last month that I include that
Well,
on here. I'll let you
looking at
take
this
it.
as we have it down here, that might be a committee project, you
What's
know?
that?
2 or 3 people working on the board policies and procedures and bylaws.
Well,
Unless we already have something prepared to use.
we did that our first meeting or second meeting that we had. We had those drawn up by Brian Graham.
It's the bylaws.
Okay, yes, that's,
We do?
oh, we have the
haven't seen
bylaws.
them.
We have the bylaws.
We have the bylaws. They're not been completely edited from the first meeting we talked about. So I've got to finish that, and that hasn't been done yet. So
So
we
do
do
we
have,
follow the same policy and procedure that the village does regarding meetings and all those minutes done and whatnot?
When minutes are prepared in the Open Meetings Act, that's by state statute. As far as everything's been explained to me, board policies and procedure is a group of rules that we as a board decide will abide by. You know, a lot of things in the board policy isn't state dictated. It's how the board decides they will operate as a board.
Now, would we?
So, we probably should have, it's just how you agree to
It's
operate.
just they're usually this thick.
I like it when they're like,
Well,
No, I-
looked at,
I- you know, I mean, you don't wanna get
like,
overly
and some of them are
cumbersome
just
with
really simple and, you know, I don't
Yeah.
think we need to have a 1-inch thick document, but
No.
something to regulate,
I do.
keep
Bylaws,
everybody on the same page
Yeah.
here.
so we should look at the bylaws more, and if there's other board policies, in my opinion, the board should have it. Now, we're all in agreement.
do
So
we
there's
need
no
to
arguments about why in the heck are we doing that, or why aren't we?
Well, definitely for the future, I mean, we need something to keep us on the same, so we're all agreeing to the same thing, policy and rule.
So I didn't realize you had a copy of the bylaws, you should probably.
you sent me a copy, they need to be edited. We made some changes here at their first meeting.
Yes.
And they've not.
So we should get them edited and handed back out,
Yes.
and then go from there.
Maybe look at our other policy manuals online, have you seen?
Yep,
Okay.
I've looked at other DDA groups, and some of them are really simple, where I don't think we'd have to do anything more than scratch out their name and put in ours and edit it to make it work for us.
That's what I was gonna say, it's a good way to go, because a lot of people have already done all the legwork, and we don't need to reinvent the wheel, we just need to make it fit Central Lake.
Exactly. So at this point, I don't have any to hand out as far as the edited version, so we wanna wait till we get that. I'm hoping by next month, but
What would be the delay on that?
the time to do it, personal time to do it. I'm home 14-hour days, I
Can
don't
we-
have time to do it.
Look at it on the Google Drive at least,
It is
can
on
you
the
get it
Google
up
Drive, the
there?
original copy's on the Google Drive.
the bylaws are?
So we can take a look at it,
Yeah,
and then
they're
the
just sitting there.
next meeting.
We've already talked, well, we already had it through here once, it's already been voted on,
Right.
and we made all the changes, and somewhere I've got those changes, that I have to sit down
Yeah.
and change them.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time right now.
Once it's,
I wouldn't be opposed to this, if you find a good set of board policy and procedures, I don't like committeeing things to death, my God, print them out, bring them to the meeting.
Well,
You
right,
know?
I mean, I'm just saying if it's more than just me doing, you know, Michelle and I or somebody else, I don't want it to just be me going, ooh.
No, but I
you know,
mean,
it's-
somebody's gotta do it, I guess is what I'm saying, and if you're willing to find a copy or pull it out, or meet with Michelle and do it, I'm fine with that,
How'd my
everybody else
name get
is.
brought in? I don't.
Because you just sit there so quiet and volunteering for a lot.
if you want to look at it,
Yeah, I do.
the procedures
Oh,
we talked about.
I've never seen it before, thanks.
I thought we handed you a
Yeah,
copy.
we talked about that
We
one
gave you a
for-
copy of it,
No,
I think.
I don't think I
Very
didn't
first
get a
meeting.
packet that very first time because I wasn't on the board.
What you helped, like.
But I think we handed you one.
Yeah,
Actually, I was
there's one
gonna
on hand.
order mine,
We had an
and
extra.
then you had an extra one.
Yep, you should have a copy of that.
Getting old.
That was Bart. Welcome to.
It's not so bad, come on in.
Oh, my.
Yeah. And then to me, just when you get looking like some things under bylaws and stuff, some of these boards will turn around and state again exactly like what the Open Meetings Act says. In my opinion, we say we abide by the Open Meetings Act. You know, things that the state has already determined, how many days minutes have to be put up, what you do with them, yada, yada, yada. We don't have to rewrite all that.
Simple's good.
What's that?
Simple is good.
I love simplicity.
Yep.
You wanna take some time, should we review that before we proceed
No,
with
but
details?
I guess the first thing I would put on there is like a date when it was drafted or something like that, because I seriously don't recall looking at this. You know,
Well,
whether it was or wasn't in that
Right,
packet
but I
from
think we,
3
I
months
think
ago, I
on
don't know.
the, I think on the additions, that's one of the things we wrote, was put,
Like
was the.
drafted, approved, like,
Revised, whatever.
Yeah, that was the very rough
Right.
first draft.
pass it down to Bart, and I'll look at it online.
And I don't know that the online version is any different than that right now. All right, does anybody else have anything else they want to add to that? All right, I'm gonna move on from there. New business, we need to reschedule our January meeting or postpone it or do something. It's scheduled right now for January 1st, because it's the first Wednesday of the month.
You guys have a good time.
I really think we should maybe skip it that month.
Yeah, I don't know.
Think about how busy you are right this second,
Mhm.
you know?
I hope I'm busier.
And we're gonna be like the holidays, I mean, we're just gonna be coming out the holidays.
Just wrap it up.
Well, we might, maybe we'll do that. You know, I don't know. What does everybody else
What about
think?
the ninth? The
Just
following
bump it
week?
back a week.
Well, you get into village council meetings, planning commission meetings, township stuff going on, you start pushing things
One of
around.
those?
So that becomes kind of a,
Every day.
it becomes a little bit of a headache. And I don't know what's available in the township schedule for this particular room. Doesn't mean we can't have it elsewhere. But I know the second's available, because I did ask about that, but I wasn't gonna ask about every available day in January. That didn't conflict with Lions meeting or Masons or the village council or planning commission. School board. Yeah, so I didn't,
But if you guys want to do it, we could do it at the hall that second week. Upstairs, it's not an issue.
we could do
Would
that.
it be on a Wednesday?
We could keep it on.
Whenever you,
Well, the second week of Thursdays I'm tied up. Second and fourth Thursdays.
so the Wednesday's probably.
I prefer to continue to have them and get into doing some committee stuff and doing some stuff outside of these meetings so that we can get some progress, some things done. And I prefer to keep the momentum going and not lose anything.
Yeah, I
we have.
don't really wanna skip the meeting,
No.
I think we need to keep them going.
Especially when it's
So just bump it to the 8th and do it at Randy's.
Do
Then
it
the
at the
following
VFW.
week.
Yeah, we could, we could do it at the VFW hall upstairs.
Second Wednesday is planning commission. Second Thursday is village.
So Ken won't be able to make it on the
First
second.
Monday is school board.
So,
Wait a minute, I got it.
check your calendar real quick.
Well, the second Wednesday, if it's
January
Wednesday,
8th.
is planning commission.
9th and 10th is out for me.
So you can't have this room, is what I'm saying.
And I can't do the 10th this month.
You know, my daughter's sporting stuff. Now, her games start now Wednesdays and Fridays.
Oh, no.
Yes,
Alright. What's,
any Wednesday and Friday.
Basketball season,
Yeah,
oh,
so what, a month and a half-ish,
until March.
2 months? Holy
Well, then
crap.
then it changes from Wednesday, Friday to Tuesday, Thursday halfway through because of the boy-girl playing sports.
so you got a month or
That
two
was
late
the
best.
stupidest thing
Yeah.
I ever did.
I agree.
Well, we'd still have a quorum if we do it on the 8th, if Bart's missing and Kenny's
If it's a
missing, that's
home
only
game,
2,
I
so-
can, no, if it starts at
I'm not gonna
7.
be in town.
So that's
The 8th.
3.
Or we could move it to the third Wednesday.
The 15th?
Cause the third Wednesday is township.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nobody goes to those.
No, but they're here.
No, we can have it at the
No,
VFW.
if we had it at the VFW.
Yeah, we can have it down there.
You have to check, you might have to get it out and get it posted
Yeah, we'll figure that part out.
if you change location.
Would you, the
I'll make a
15th?
motion to do it on the 15th at VFW Hall.
So then you're gonna make the third Wednesday and 2 weeks later meeting. That's what I'm saying, reach the point where you postpone it so far, you might as well postpone the whole month.
Right.
That's just, I'm not saying I wanna postpone it, I'm just saying realistically.
What is 2 weeks?
It'd be actually it'd be 3 weeks later if it was the first first,
The fifth.
5th, the February 5th, there's
What's
enough.
wrong with the
There's
second?
enough Wednesdays in
The
January.
second Wednesday?
No, the second.
Yeah, the second of January. Well, and Tom, so you're not gonna be here, right? I could do the second. I don't know if Ken can do the second in January. That's the Thursday. It's the first Thursday.
The first Thursday?
I could do it.
I
That
can
works
do the
for me.
second.
Second?
All right, I'm changing my motion from the 15th to
To
the 2nd.
Yeah, and the second's
Yeah.
available for this room, last I checked.
Okay.
Here, in this room.
In this room,
All right,
last I checked.
Allow me to second
That'll
that,
work.
please.
Bart already did.
For the second.
All in favor of the second?
Aye.
Schedule the second.
It is.
Corey, did they give you meeting dates for the next year yet?
No.
The township hasn't yet?
No. Do you wanna talk to Judy? If you have time when you're down here at the village office.
I think at some point they need to.
No, they told me that we were gonna keep on doing it month to month, because they don't know when they have something going on.
Because ours are for the whole year, planning commission's for the whole year, the
No, you
township
have to.
scheduled for the whole year, I don't understand
I
why the
kinda thought-
DDA can be
Bill-
scheduled for the whole
Bill
year.
told us we
You know what I
could,
mean?
and Judy told us we couldn't.
All right, we'll sort it out.
Okay. Second item is a letter to the village regarding sidewalk cleanup downtown. And this was my frustration with it, and it's better now. It was better the day after Thanksgiving before Small Business Saturday. But downtown before Thanksgiving for, I think it was 2 or 3 days, there's snow on the sidewalks and the whole downtown district. I watched little ladies tripping over, trying to get their hair done down at
Beauty bar.
the beauty bar, and some older gentleman trying to bring a laptop in, and it's too difficult to walk around down there. And after Thanksgiving, it's been fine since, because we haven't had the snowfall. But I was wondering to know if we should say something, or at least to kind of maybe ask the village if they could spend some extra time and make sure that the downtown area is always cleaned up first. The sidewalks in there before the traffic gets coming in. And I understand that once the traffic's there, it's a lot harder, but I just worry that, there's little ladies, and I try to clean up my sidewalk, but you can't do much once it's built up there and deep, and you can throw it in the street, but that just doesn't do any good.
I'm always worried about a lawsuit.
That's what I'm worried about too.
Sounds like a good idea. What would, so you saying like a letter to the village? Or?
Yeah, maybe have somebody draft a letter to the village, or bring it up at a village meeting, or maybe just talk.
I've talked to Sam quite a bit. This month at the village meeting, anybody has issues with the sidewalks, come to the meeting, because it's gonna get hashed out, and it's gonna get resolved. Because it comes down to, they're willing to do anything they want. They come in at 4 in the morning, sidewalks cleaned by 7. Snow off the sidewalks, out to the curb, the streets cleaned up. Sam tries very hard to only do it when he feels it's necessary to save the village money, because everything always comes down to money and overtime dollars. He's very much in agreement. If the town decides that that's a very priority item, we'll do it. And as it goes further in the budget, if the money has to come from somewhere else, it does, because it always comes down to money. But he needs to hear, and the council needs to hear from the downtown businesses and people, what do they want? I mean, they're not opposed to doing it, the village isn't opposed to doing it, we just need to know. I know my personal opinion, my personal opinion is if there's snow on the sidewalks, they should come in and get it off by 7 o'clock in the morning. What we need to tell them as the council is, does that mean 1/2 inch of snow, or 3? Or if it's in the middle of a snowstorm and still snowing, should they come in? My opinion is yes, every morning. But, so come to the meeting, please, or send a letter, or let the council know what you want the DPW to do.
So if somebody
It
does
will
a
get
letter-
done.
So if somebody does a letter and all the businesses sign it,
Yes,
just give it to
yeah,
you.
but be fairly specific is what I'm saying, like say,
Well, the thing
if
is-
there's a 1/2 inch of snow, or an inch,
Did you take pictures?
or
I did.
whatever. It was a
We talked
mess,
about
he knows
pictures.
it was, he knows it was a
crazy
mess.
that-
The thing that bothers me is they leave it at the edge.
So who gets sued
of the
if
site.
someone falls, the
Yeah.
village or the business owner?
Yeah, where's the liability?
Both.
Oh, nice.
On the sidewalks downtown,
Yeah.
it's gonna depend on whose property they're on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably the business owner,
technically our
as long as the
sidewalks.
village does what the insurance company and all them feel is necessary to keep them in the best reasonable repair and condition. Because it happened to us a while ago, somebody tried to sue us because they slipped and fell on a sidewalk. So they have all their little, what we wanna do is never get in that situation, because it doesn't work out good for
Well,
anybody.
they'll sue everybody.
Absolutely,
Yeah, they'll sue both.
And so.
yes, and the insurance companies will come after who they don't, but But what I'm saying is beyond that, I just wanna make sure that when people come to our town and they look at our town, our sidewalks, it should look clean and
Yeah.
presentable. And Saturday,
Safe.
please talk about Saturdays. I personally, again, think they should be in on Saturdays, because businesses are
Oh,
open.
absolutely, that's our.
Sundays, what do you feel about Sundays? You know, cause like I said, it always comes down to money. They'll do what we ask them to do.
Well,
Trust me.
could you stagger shifts? I know,
We talked about it, but it probably doesn't save money, because if you schedule somebody to work Saturday and Sunday, one person isn't gonna do downtown, so you're gonna pay the other person anyway. And now you take the gamble that the snow came on Saturday, Sunday instead of Tuesday, Wednesday, which you now gave them off, see what I'm saying?
but you're paying one overtime instead of two.
Now, if we call them in on Wednesday because it snowed on Wednesday,
Don't we
which
hire
is now
some
their
kids?
normal day off, see what I'm saying? It's a gamble what day it snows. The answer is, we need to keep our downtown look clean. I'd love to see the sidewalks clean by 7 o'clock every morning, the curbs clean. Of course, if it snows all day, it's gonna pile up.
It's gonna be
Yes.
snowy by the time they open at 9 or 10.
Yeah, no, but you know, like I said, if it's snowing like crazy, we can't expect them to come out all day long, constantly blowing snow off the sidewalks.
No,
Yeah, but when it's this
But
deep,
maybe we
cars
won't
are
have
parked.
2.5 foot built up
But
on
you're
it.
you're not gonna have people
the curb is the
coming and
big
going
thing.
all day.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
and
mean,
also
I can shovel, you know,
Right.
throughout the day, but then it gets, or his son could come over and shovel when it gets out. But, you know, the curb, it gets so hard, you can't even
Well,
touch
it's,
that.
so if every time it snows, if they're in town the next morning.
Yeah.
I mean, then it never builds
And
up.
there's only
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
many places you can put it. I
Yeah,
mean, we can put it off into the street, but then you've got
People
8
trying
inches
to
of
walk
slush
and trying
and,
to-
yeah.
You see, so the issue is, the problem is, they just need, we need to
The
be cleaning it
actual
up.
removal.
Every morning there's new snow on the ground, so say that in the letter, please. And
My
then we'll
biggest
hash out
problem-
the dollar part of it, you know, because it literally takes 3 guys 3 hours to clean up the downtown area. Now they haven't plowed the streets. So here's what I guarantee we're here as a council is, why are you taking care of downtown and you didn't plow my street by 6:30 AM? You know what I mean? So there's never a good answer, but I think downtown, to me, is number one.
You probably have more traffic downtown.
I
than
just
rural
think
Elm
we have to
Street.
start somewhere, I think it's a good place to start, and then we move out.
I agree.
But
We start in the center, work your way
well,
out.
that's our heavy traffic area, all the people, our businesses need to open. So if we get a letter at the next meeting, and everybody wants to attend,
And also, you're the boss, right? I mean, you're the boss of the village.
go to
So-
council is, and I say so it is, about that much. I'm the complaint department. Seriously, I don't like to make any decisions, everything goes through council approval.
Well, in addition to hearing, getting a letter, you've also heard us all express our.
Yeah.
So you can say you've heard people at least 6,
Yeah, I
7
think we're all on the
people.
same page, what we want done, we just, they'll do
Well,
it.
I don't have downtown,
Well, you're
but
saying-
where
you're
I'm
saying
at,
get
though, you guys build a great big wall right in front of the building, so I have to have a neon or a nuclear explosion for somebody to know I'm there.
The problem is there's piles up by Steve's house, they need somewhere to pile snow until they get the time to come to town and haul it away.
Right.
So we
That's
do
why I
a
haven't
better
said
job
too
of
much.
hauling away, but that's all, where do you pile it?
Right.
Usually ends up at the
So the
Bus
Nichols,
garage.
the Nichols field right there is the one great big field, and, it can all be piled right there. Not
Says who?
Mr. Nichols.
Did he say so? Because that's not what he's told the village.
That's what he told me once.
Okay, so look, because Sam's
I
looked
will
into
get
that
him
before, 'cause
involved.
the village owns a very little spot there that isn't big enough for anything.
Right,
If he says okay,
I will confirm it.
okay, that's what I'm saying, if he says okay.
If you can keep that monster snowbank down
Yep.
to a low roar,
What, you
I'll
wanna
talk
say
to Jerry,
Okay,
and, he will say okay. It's right behind the shop.
Okay.
no, Sam and I talked about that last year.
Well,
Just dump it there, dump it there, dump it there, dump it, it'd be very convenient.
He doesn't
They can
want-
push
he
it
doesn't
there.
want-
Well,
garbage, but.
oh, it'd just be snow.
Snow,
Right,
Neighborhood kids will all be over there.
sledding down the hill.
Building roads.
I don't care.
At least they're gonna sled down the pile by hand.
As long as it's not in front
No,
of my
seriously,
shop.
you get hold of the guy?
Yeah, I can call him.
Absolutely, it'd be
You
great.
want to call him right now?
Call 'em right now.
So did we want to draft a letter, or does everybody feel like it's okay to just show up at the village council meeting and?
When is the next village council meeting?
When is it? Next Thursday?
Next
Yeah,
Thursday.
next Thursday.
Thursday.
I'll tell them exactly what you've told me, you know what I mean, so.
Or do we need
I
to
don't know how
draft
much
a
we need
letter?
to go with that, I think we discussed it here pretty well.
I think the letter,
I think a letter looks nice, but
Yeah.
you can present them.
Okay.
the letter with the details like you were saying.
Right,
Mhm.
and as the DDA, we just all sign it and, on behalf of our,
Gordon will come right to the
Individual
Corey as the
businesses.
chair of the DDA,
I'd be
in
fine
response
with
to
that.
this meeting.
Yep.
Right.
I
No, I mean, really, you.
I can, I mean,
represent the
but
board,
we can
so.
also draft a letter real quick to make sure that, you know, I can put something out and send it via email.
Okay, I'm just saying it's not necessarily probably for everybody to sign it. If you want to show it to everybody, then send it from the DDA board.
Yeah.
That's
Alright.
something
We
to
can,
plan.
so we need a motion to probably do that.
I'll make the motion to draft a letter.
You don't need to, right?
You move.
I mean,
Move what?
Move to draft a letter.
You make
Move to
motion
draft
and
a
then
letter
second them. You don't agree with them, you second them.
to present at the next village council meeting about the snow sidewalk cleanup for downtown.
Do we have a second? All in favor?
All right.
Who seconded?
and Fox is a close second.
You're the second.
Who ended up seconding the, decision to have the next month's meeting here on the
Would
second?
be Bart.
That would be me.
Bart seconded that?
Yeah.
He doesn't have a treasury report, so he's got to put his name.
Right, that's right.
He doesn't have a treasurer's report, because he's got one.
Actually, we already talked after the meeting.
Treasurer's report should be easy for a while.
Treasurer stuff.
Yeah, I know.
We have a budget
Started at zero in.
from the village council. From the last meeting.
One page.
All right, on to the next thing. Committee roles, form committees. I sent out via email the Main Street Program Committee overview and I'll be honest with you, I did not get this directly from them. I found it online. I thought it was interesting reading. I want to have a discussion while everybody's here, and I'd like to form some committees, even if it's just kind of a basic. Even if it's, you know, next month we have to change it up a little bit, or, you know, this is gonna be an evolving thing. And I'd like a lot of the majority of the work should be done outside of these meetings and done in committees, brought to the board for approval or denial and moved on.
Yep.
And these meetings should be hour-long meetings where we're making all our decisions and doing all our work at committee meetings. I'm open for, I want some discussion. I don't have the answers, and I don't know what the answers are.
There's a few committees that we're pretty sure are gonna be
How
necessary.
many people have read this already prior to meeting today?
I've read part of it. I've done part of it.
I've read it.
So
I only printed
maybe
one copy.
People being able to read that might be a better situation to make.
Well, we need to discuss it now too.
Yeah, the main thing is the front page.
They suggest the Main Street program, even if we're not accepted, which I'm sure we'll be accepted into it, they suggest at least a minimum of 4 committees that are on the front page there. And I like where they're going with it because it's also where as a downtown development authority, it's kind of where our role fits in. And they talk extensively about, I gotta pull my copy out. I can give you my
Ryan's got
copy.
it.
I wanted to look at this right here. Organization, promotion, design, and economic restructuring. I like how they did that. That's very, we don't have to have committees for everything, but this is what they recommended for their Main Street committees. And if we look at organization, it involves getting everyone working towards the same goal, assembling appropriate human and financial resources to implement the program. The promotion committee sells a positive image of the commercial district and encourages consumers and investors to live, work, shop, play, and invest in the Main Street district, the downtown area. Design, getting the downtown in top physical shape, capitalizing on its best assets, historic buildings, pedestrian-oriented streets, inviting atmosphere, etc. Economic restructuring involves strengthens community's existing economic assets while expanding and just diversifying its economic base. Basically, that's helping to bring more businesses in town, promoting Central Lake out to other people, maybe other businesses that could come into town. So, I look at those and I think those are 4 committees that we should have,
Sure.
at the very minimum. And it doesn't mean we can't say, hey, we're gonna start these and then maybe we tweak it next month, and maybe we tweak it differently. And I don't know, they talk a lot about having these committees, and not necessarily completely made up of board members, but maybe volunteers throughout the community. So, volunteers are not on the board, but they may be able to help the board members to do these goals.
Right, and, I mean, obviously, there's some of them are pretty basic, organization, volunteer management comes right out as like, you're gonna have people, we started off with a lot of people showing up here, but, you know, get the word back out, get people involved, and they can jump on the organization, promotion. That, a lot of it's gonna be like a word of mouth or Facebook, or essentially like news, or whatnot, maybe somebody else volunteers for that, so I think we can pick up some volunteers to help supplement. I mean, maybe like, I don't know, two board members or something, however it breaks down, that we're part of the committee, and then work with like, we can, you know, 2 to 4 volunteers or something to help to further our goals.
You may want to consider also, in the 4 areas here, having these held by committee members here.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right.
And then let them decide what staff they need and how far they want to go. Some people and some things need more people and a lot of time devoted to them, especially when you're kicking something off.
Yep. I definitely agree.
I think the way this reads, one of the things they mentioned in there is that a board member should be a chair of each of the committees, and needs to agree to be in that position for a year. That's what they would, that's what the Main Street program would like to see. So, and then from there, they also want them to keep minutes of individual committee meetings,
Yep.
so that way we can at least know what's going on and share those with you during the committee reports here at the DDA. Now, these are just what's structured by them. You know, we can have any committees we'd like to have. This is just a suggestion. And the types of people there's also a list of the types of people they would like to see on each type of committee. Under organization, you know, nonprofit directors, accountants, PR professionals,
Right.
fundraisers, you know,
Journalists and.
anyone interested in helping with that, but you know, try to get some of these professionals out there in the world. And do they all have to live in Central Lake? Absolutely not. If you've got somebody from Bel Air that's an architect that wants to help build up Central Lake for his resume or otherwise, I mean, why wouldn't we accept the free help? And get somebody with some expertise from outside of here. And there's 1,000 people inside the village, 952, right? So there's a small little pool of resources here. Let's expand out and get some other volunteers. And you know, I'm not saying that they can't come from Central Lake, but if you can get professionals from other places too.
Yeah.
And that's why I liked this particular little handout. I didn't want to print 10 copies of it because it was 20 pages long.
19.
19 pages long. That was all emailed to, I think I got everybody.
I like how it lists the responsibilities
I'll get you one
and,
then.
Yeah.
I think I should be on there.
pretty
PV2,
clear.
PV Auto 2,
Yeah.
PV2 Auto or something.
It was on the email they sent.
Are we gonna be able to
There's
put an
Amazon.
email list out for everybody?
I'm sorry?
I said, are we gonna be able to put an email list out for everybody so we can contact each other?
It was on the last email when I sent it out. Everybody's email address was on there.
Today?
3 days ago, 2 days ago. Whenever I got these out, late.
You got PV Auto 2 on mine?
Yep, I think so. I think so.
I checked it today.
I might have typed it in wrong though.
Okay.
So double check it, let me know. I'll get it to you.
Spam.
yeah, check your spam folder.
Yeah, probably spam coming from.
PV Auto 2 at Yahoo. Yep.
Does anybody have any suggestions or how do we want to proceed with this?
I like the idea of starting them, like you said, getting them started now, and then if we need to readjust down the road, we can.
One of the things it points out in here is they want the person that is the chair of it with the that lists what the responsibilities are. I'm trying to find it. Committee chair, responsible for recruiting members, organizing training orientation, assigning and supervising tasks, running meetings, developing agenda and notifying members, developing and organizing work plans, scheduling work, managing tasks, ensuring the work is done, forging consensus, managing discussion, resolving conflicts, and moving ahead on issues. Representing the board to the committee, explaining the mission and vision, clarifying policies, and reporting on board activities. Representing the committee to the board, presenting work plans and reporting on projects, and working with staff, coordinating action, scheduling projects, and solving problems. So it's somebody that's actually very active. They expect it to be a very active position, not just, hey, I'm we're gonna sit here and just talk about it, it's, you're up doing it. And they, I mean, I'm not gonna read this whole thing, but they go into some detail on what, this is what the Main Street people expect, and I think it's actually pretty reasonable stuff. It's, you know, having one person in charge, and then they follow the kind of the guidelines that are set out here to manage their meetings. And I don't think they have to be super formal, I don't think it's like this, where we all have to sit down and talk and circle it, you know, the three people wanna meet.
If they want you to do minutes, then somebody's gonna have to keep track of what.
Well, they
Yes.
have to do minutes, you gotta do minutes.
Yeah, do the minutes so we know what's been talked about.
Yep.
And
Plus you
then,
give a report then
At the
at
next.
this meeting.
yep, and we go over those reports, and
Everybody gets the minutes.
then at least we'll have input on what's going on.
Right.
You know, if all of a sudden, hey, we're gonna work on supplying everybody downtown with puppies, well, wait a second, that's not a really good idea. I don't want everybody downtown to have a puppy, who's gonna clean up after it?
That's a really good idea.
You know, so
Yeah.
that way you can at least come back here and we can shorten these meetings up and
Well, and it's a two-way thing, because then, you know, this board can say, we really need this committee to work on this, and then, you know, it's
Yep.
more, you kind of direct, this board directs the committees, and then the
Yep.
committees get her done, you know?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
I've been on a lot of committees.
So I guess my,
You guys' thoughts on it?
yeah,
Well, I'm just thinking about this, world that I'm developing here. I got a million things going, and I'm wondering, okay, being on too many committees, and I'm on a few other things, you know, it's you know, I ran home full tilt, got ready, got cleaned up, ran back,
right.
you know, and, you know, I don't mind helping on a committee, but there's no way I can head a committee.
Well, and I don't think everybody does, I don't think we have to
You
get
know,
everybody.
And I'm thinking all of us here, none of us are retired.
Yes.
We need a couple of retirees.
Well, and that's where we, you know, we may have these committees and be the head of them, but we can work with other people. And, you know, it's all about getting the job done, is what I see. It's all about finishing.
You said you want 4 committees?
Yep, 4
You have
committees,
12 members on the DDA, right?
technically
There's
speaking.
4
yes.
committees of 3, because you keep saying other volunteers.
Yeah, we're
People didn't
volunteers.
jump up out of the woodwork to be on the DDA board. Let's not assume they're gonna jump up to being in committees, because I can honestly tell you, you're gonna have trouble finding them. So I agree with Martin, I personally don't wanna chair a committee, I got a lot going on.
Right.
Well, will I be part of a committee? Yeah, maybe you
Yeah.
should try to find 4 people and say, I'd like to chair the committee. 2 other people will serve on it. That doesn't mean all 3 of them are always gonna get together. It may be just 2, the chair may be
Might be on
most
the
of the work, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it might be on the phone.
And I just think that's a better way to go, and I'm sure the committees we pick will change. I just say that from experience. You'll find out, wow, that's not what we need done more. I can see us changing that, but I personally, I think to find 4 people that would like chair committee, if you're leaning toward 4 committees, and then there's 2 other board members on there with it. If you find people that want to volunteer, great, but I have a real problem with relying on volunteers.
Well, I think Ken too, you know, in subcommittees, we can more personally recruit. Like if I know somebody that's really good at whatever, I can say, and you can say it's not a, you know, you don't have to commit forever. If you could just like give me your expertise for this thing we gotta get accomplished here.
I agree.
It's a little
I
bit
just
more-
wouldn't count on that happening with every committee, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This whole thing.
No, I agree 100%.
3 and 4.
This whole thing can also be an outreach program. Once you've got your committees, now you have something you can go out with that we are doing. You can go to the different organizations that are in town, they have members, and explain that what we're doing, and here we have these 4 areas we are looking for volunteers. There's a lot of retirees out there. A lot of these guys would like to help, but I think they're just primarily looking to leadership to come from us and try to get things moving in a direction, and they've got the time to do it. I couldn't do it, I'm like you. I've got like 6 things going, but I can get committee chairman, because I'm gonna meet and I'm gonna delegate.
Find other people to do it.
Yeah, I don't have time to do it, but I have time to oversee it.
So are you more comfortable finding 4 people now that want to volunteer to be the committee chairs and let them deal with finding people,
Maybe
whether
we
they
should-
come off the board or from elsewhere?
Maybe we should try that, and, I mean, I guess I personally wouldn't mind trying that, but then, I mean, we also need to coordinate so we're all going in the same direction, you know, I don't want some, you know, we're all, I don't know, I don't want it going off in a tangent, and all of a sudden the promotion committee is just running crazy, doing something different, not,
Well, like Michelle was saying, the board will kind of give the
Well, what-
committee's guidance.
Once you get these, then you need to take like 60 days, and two things need to happen, I think. Number one, the board needs to say what is expected out of each group.
Right,
Okay, so you give them some direction.
right, this is what you do. this
Number
is what
two,
you
then
don't.
they're gonna need 60 days to actually be able to go out and create volunteers, take what we've said, discuss it among themselves, figure out a list of what's first and what's last, or what can we get done the quickest, and move with fastest to the slowest. But I also think that if we do this, we should also maybe have yourself go to the different groups
yeah.
and say what we are doing, and here's the chair people of these, and if you'd like to get involved.
Maybe once we know what the committees are,
Right,
and know what the direction we're headed, I think that'd be a good idea. I really do. And we could definitely do that.
But then the question is, you know, what direction are we headed? We've got our Main Street application in, right? That's gonna provide some structure to what we have to do, right?
Some, and that's supposed to be back in January.
Okay,
I don't know when in January,
So-
but January.
perhaps, and you said this came from the Main Street
This is
website.
directly out of the Main Street
Right.
program, yep.
Okay, so would it be, I mean, it would be difficult, I think, to form committees and then a couple months later say, wait, this isn't the committee that we want, and here we've done all this legwork and footwork and talk work, you know? And so, do you want, but we can project perhaps that because we've got the Main Street application in, that, and it's gonna go through, we hope, that these are the committees that we need, but we don't exactly know what it is they're going to need to do.
Well, it does spell out in that, or quite a bit of it, no, you're right, it doesn't spell out everything.
Main Street would prefer that you not set up. But coming from East Jordan, for 4 years they waited for something to happen, and it never really happened. And my conclusion out of that entire thing was, take what you've got, go as fast as you can in any direction you want, and as they start to pull it together, reorganize it. They're not gonna, I mean, you're using their basis. So it's just small changes to fall in line with what they want as they want it.
Okay,
But to wait is
right,
it's a never-ending battle.
Right.
If you just wait forever.
okay.
I would never do that again.
Wait.
I mean, it drove me crazy.
Oh,
I'm not a, I don't talk a lot, I'd much rather do. And I mean, I love Main Street, but it's a lot of talk.
And you just get, it's what you take out of it, probably.
Right.
It's what you grasp out
Choose
of
to
it
do
and
with
implement.
But I think your idea here is great. You're not going so deep into this that you're really creating all these sub-areas where you've got this huge thing going, and when they come in, it's a mess trying to restructure. But if you take the top line and start to move there, it's very easy to restructure that to fit whatever they want to do, whenever they want to.
And it gets some momentum building.
Yeah, well,
Instead of waiting
that's
for 2
going.
months.
A lot of people heard about this. If we don't do anything for a year, you know, they're gonna be very disillusioned. You're gonna have a very tough time 6 months from now getting people to do something versus starting to move right now.
Yeah, I agree, I think there's a little bit of momentum going, and I'd like to keep that moving
So,
forward.
I guess my question is, so what is the direction the DDA is going now?
All right, what do we do?
Right,
Forward.
right, oh,
Well,
no,
that way.
somebody's gotta do something. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's gotta- so I said, where's the
one?
where's our main goal right now? We're going,
As of last meeting, we've discussed we're doing a downtown development plan. One of the committees does take that into account. And we have other areas we want to hit too. And what I think I would propose is breaking down into committees based off of this. That way, we make some progress and we start to promote and develop our downtown, even if it's only on paper. Things that we can do, and this will help bring in more ideas and more people, because I see there's not a lot of public here today.
They're all next door.
They're all next door.
yeah,
Christmas
go
parties.
party with her?
I'll have food the next one.
And then it may help bring in some other ideas, whereas we don't have to sit here and we can work towards creating, like, for example, our plan. So over the next 6 months, we at least have something to show for the time we have invested. And we can work on promoting the downtown and work on bringing more businesses into town. And if you have a committee head, they're working on their specific part of that plan. So that's, I guess, what I see.
So, I don't know if this is kind of the same thing, but like specifically tying in for this coming like spring, summer, fall, winter kind of business season for the downtown, like to start,
Well, like for the promotion.
yeah, I mean,
You know,
like
go-
all these kind of tie into like the idea of like, you're gonna be working all year round, so to speak, to help out the downtown, not that the chambers, I mean, they're doing their thing, and then we're actually tying in with you, and then tying with the Lions, and you're tying in with the school, and you're just that kind of that continuity piece to just continue to work on it. That's, I guess, the committee's organization, promotion, design are,
It's basically.
they're
each-
self-explanatory of just getting people organized into specific sections to help out the downtown.
And it looks like, you know, the promotions part, it's a natural that's kind of, like, that kind of is the Chamber of Commerce, and so.
Yeah, but the chamber kind of has a bigger scope. They're not gonna just
Yeah.
promote the downtown, whereas
Right.
our scope is the downtown area. And I would like it just to be about the downtown. I mean, it's great that they're doing stuff down the VFW and they're doing stuff.
Windows night was downtown, not over at Armor, even though Armor makes all the money, you know? what I mean?
Right. But
It's
then,
the stuff like that.
you know, it's just strictly for the promotion and the growth of the downtown area. Because that's where the funds will come from and that's where the funds will be used. And that area is what we want to focus on, where the chamber's got a much larger scope.
But I just really think the chamber needs to be an integral part of
Oh, I
that,
agree.
because we don't wanna double, you know.
Yeah, we have Missy on that, and if they want to help out with additional things that we do too, and that would be wonderful. And
I
we
mean, yeah, we're
help
not
them out.
double working stuff, but we're working in conjunction with them, I would see that.
So here's my thought, until you come up with a downtown development plan, how do you get any other committee working in any direction when you haven't decided? I think first you should get a committee, this is our downtown development plan. I think another good 3 people or person, marketing and public relations is really big right now. You call it marketing, you call it whatever you want, but you gotta get the word out, you gotta get people enthused, you gotta make sure the public knows, I agree. And somebody has to do that. And somebody else, through the chamber, there's 3 things I also has to make sure all our little organizations in the village of Central Lake work together. What's the chamber doing, what's the DDA doing, what's the planning commission thing, what's the village council thing, what's going on with the school system, if we don't pull all that together.
But that's exactly what these first 4 things.
Is that what they're saying? So
Yeah.
we need
That's
to-
exactly what they do. They break it down into 4 different directions, and then they have it going out in all directions.
Because I got that, and honestly didn't read it yet.
Yeah, you,
We can't do our plan, it's gonna take us a year to do the plan. So we're not gonna sit, I don't wanna sit still on the other things.
Well, I think the specifics of the plan, that you say a downtown development plan, starting where? That's what I'm saying, what is our plan?
What's
You
the
would
general
start
goals?
developing downtown Central Lake.
Some general goals for the next 6 months, year, just to get started, or?
well, here it hits it, it's organization, promotion, design, and economic restructuring. And those are your 4 directions, and they really encompass almost everything. And when you start to read the breakdowns of those, you see they head in different directions. But then I think it's up to this board to give them further direction in each of these areas that cover things that may not be covered. There are things that, you know, like you're talking about, but I think most of them, probably 90% are covered in those 4.
Or that little umbrella.
Right. But what it does is it allows this board to move in 4 different directions and start doing something right now. And part of it is looking at the entire downtown and saying, where is it gonna be 20 years from now?
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it.
And, you know, another part of this is what are we gonna be doing tomorrow?
Alright.
You know, so I mean, it really takes a broad view.
And who can we get here? Oh, go ahead, sorry.
And you can add to these, so that as we, you know, find things that aren't in here, we can figure out where they belong, and then add that to that group's discussion, and let them start to plan it out.
So the committees kind of are the infrastructure, and when we have a task, we know where to route it. Or if we don't quite know where to route it, we can route it somewhere,
Yeah.
and there's 4 different
And
choices.
we can create other committees as necessary. You know, I just don't want to committee everything to death and have, 8, you know,
Oh gosh, no,
8 different committees to
4 is plenty.
do things.
4 is plenty.
So I mean, I'm liking the way this is laid out, that's why I printed it and sent it to everybody. If there are some other
And if that's the way Main Street is already
structured,
structuring it themselves and the way they're going to kind of technically want us to be in compliance with after we're approved
It makes
the
sense
Main
that was a
Street
start.
program, to just start right out with what they already want us to do.
It gives us a framework to work
And,
with.
yeah,
Once we're approved, they provide consulting, correct?
They do.
And so then they would help us, they would
Yes,
tell us what to do
training.
next.
yes.
Yep.
If we've got one group that's kind of stuck or whatever, they've got, you know, classes that you can go to and you can have speakers come or.
and we'll have
you
more
can-
resources,
you know,
I'm sure.
whatever.
Yeah, just real world experience from what they've
Mhm.
done for the promotions committee or the organization committee to get it past a certain point.
Well, the Main Street is also a very aggressive group. I mean, they really, they give you an organization, but they expect you to immediately start using that organization.
Right,
And if you aren't set up and you have to go out and create the committees, then find the people, and then do this, you're gonna find
You're 3
yourself
months
behind the
behind
people
and you're
at the very
advocating, right?
beginning. So this, even though they won't love it, it does give you a jump. So that when they do this, you're ready to go with them immediately.
And as
Okay.
that happened at East Jordan, they didn't have anything really in place when it was accepted.
It was kind of a, it just didn't work well. I don't wanna really get into
Yeah.
particulars on who and why, but the two just never jived enough to really make this thing work.
which
The way it
two,
should.
the Main Street
The Main Street
people
and
the
that board,
downtown?
and the DDA.
That
Is
particular
that-
board.
Well, there were some problems with that board that, I think created a lot of harm to it moving at the rate it should have moved. A few people wanted to do everything, and they couldn't even come close to doing what the Main Street people wanted, but they wouldn't relinquish it to spread it out so these things could get done, and so it just kind of, you know, chasing your tail every week or every month. And,
So the more resources we have in place with the committees, set up, mobilized, ready to go.
yeah, like I said, they won't love us doing this, but when it comes to it, it will work for our
Why
advantage.
won't they love us?
Well, they wanna hold your hand, but at the same time, they want you to move very quickly. And I don't think those jive all that well either. I think this gives us an opportunity to move in their direction, but we're already starting to move. And then we fine tune and reorganize as they give us instructions, and as we see a benefit to it.
And so, we form the committees and then, I mean,
These
I don't wanna
committees
say
won't go away.
right, but we just sort of kind of have to wait a little bit, but we've got them and we're there, and then.
No, I'd say, if it was me, I'd say, we got them, we go. And let's just go out and start making it happen. And if we find as we're starting to do this, that they have a better way, then we just rotate in that direction. I mean, we wanna stay mobile so that we can,
Right, but again, we don't want to be going off in 4 totally opposite I mean, I just, where is the,
well,
where's the guidance, like, where's
Guidance
the,
for the committees.
well, we are the guidance
okay,
for this. They get to meet and then they come back to us. They don't implement anything
right,
without it coming back to us and saying, we like it, we don't, or fine tune this, or
right,
they adjust to our whims.
right. Because committees want to do, they want to do
Right.
stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And so if they don't have guidance, I know, I like I said, I've been on a lot of committees.
Well, that's
If
why I
they don't
said,
have guidance, they'll, and they want to do the right thing, but we don't want
Well,
to
that's
send
why I
them off
said,
in the wrong
this is a
direction.
nice start, but we, as a board, also need to fine tune these. And I would say let's go ahead and pick people to do these. And then between now and next month, let's put together, each of us look at these and say, what do we think these mean?
Mm.
And then we can come up with and add on to these, or maybe define what they are.
Yep,
Because these are pretty, I mean, they really don't,
They're broad.
exactly.
yeah, we really need to bring it into,
And they do get into specifics further on,
A little
I think, but not like, not
Yeah.
specific.
And I guess these are like the realms, the domains, the categories, and then we provide the direction past that.
but a lot of this stuff, if we don't start doing this now, and we'd wait. By the time summer gets here, it's gonna be too late to do anything. We're gonna be talking about next winter. Where we can start to do these, and some of this can be, start happening when spring, when the flowers come out, we can start looking and saying, do we want flower boxes or chairs or tables, or how do we wanna make this downtown look different right now?
That's why, yeah, little basic things like that I think
Yeah.
is important, I really do.
And then each group can pick, you know, say, this is easy, we can do this right now, and this is gonna take us 4 years, because it's gonna cost us $30,000.
Go for the low hanging fruit while you
Yeah.
When we're accepted by Michigan Main Street, do you sign the agreement with them?
No more than we already have, I think.
But at some point, if you drop out, are you financially responsible to, you check, because I'm sure I read where you are. There's a point where if you drop out or don't do something, you're financially responsible
That might be
for
the tier
the
two.
amount of money they've invested into it. So let's just check and make, I swear somewhere I saw it, it took me by surprise. And maybe it's once you agree to a certain level of the program, you agree to complete it, or reimburse them for the expenses they've had.
I
in
think
the
tier
program.
one is kind of like a test drive.
That's what I think, so maybe I was looking further into
It
it.
might be tier
But
two.
as we go, let's,
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
would definitely read it, because I remember something like that, I can't remember where it comes
Yeah,
up.
where
But
it was
it's, I think it's
Tier
tier
two.
two.
okay.
Tier one, there was no
You can keep
cost.
doing
Tier,
Okay.
tier one's the engagement.
You can keep doing that over and
Honeymoon
over.
phase.
You
And
get
they
there.
said you can run tier one as long as you need to.
And then if you want to, because they want you to go to tier two, but that requires hiring a Main Street manager and having that, that's their full-time job is to run these committees and to make sure that everything's happening and, which is great if
But
there's
if
a budget for it.
Right.
Well, I'm sure that's what Mark said, that's why they're
That's
probably
that
used to
point,
things
and
happening
you
fast, because
maintain.
they're used to going into a town
But
like
the
Traverse
treasurer
City, who has
says
paid
there's
people
not.
doing it.
Right,
Of course they're gonna move fast, that's what they do, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week with a staff.
Yeah.
exactly.
You know,
think
and
Boyd
here's
said
that
started
way.
out-
Let's get there, as
We'll do
fast as
that.
we can.
The Point City started off with like 3 or 4 people that had the finances and had the desire as they're leading, and then they tied it together with Main Street, and they flew.
Oh, they
It's
We need to
amazing,
find those people here in Central Lake,
yeah.
both of them.
We've already done
Money
that.
seems to always be right down there at the base, doesn't it?
Okay.
So is that what we're gonna do? Do we wanna have a vote and go ahead and say that we're gonna create these committees and appoint a chair, or have a chair volunteer?
What would you label the 4 committees?
Organization, promotion, design, and economic restructuring.
Again, I can't write that.
Organization,
Okay,
promotion,
okay,
design,
okay,
There's not this
and
thing.
economics, right?
Economic restructuring.
Economic restructuring.
okay.
And just so I'm clear on the, for our board here, like a treasurer person, just be like one person, basically like, I mean, if the organization or promotion wants to spend money on stuff when the money does come in, like they'll bring it up to the board to get things approved, to like promote different things, and it goes to the treasurer, so we don't do like an actual like financial committee to like raise money for us.
That might be something we look at
If you
under,
need money, you better ask within the next 2 weeks, because the village council is gonna prepare a budget.
Like promotion, for
Pretty good.
We
example.
talked about it last
Do
month.
that?
Yeah, we already got our,
Yeah.
our
That's
So,
happened, right?
budget,
yeah, I
so
mean,
you're saying.
2,000
At $2,000
is
for the
what was
year.
asked for, so what I'm saying, that's the money you're gonna have to work with next year.
Well, unless we hold a fundraiser, because as a DDA, we can do that, and that might fall under the promotion committee.
Yes.
Okay, just
Yeah.
kinda, just picture in
No, that's what
mind.
I'm saying, so as you go into things, just always remember, where's the money gonna come from?
Right, yeah, the committee.
2,400, but.
If we came up with some things quickly, would there be more capital possibly? Or are they?
Would there be more possible? 40,000 more, no. Would there be more than 2?
10, 12.
10 might be, over how many year period? No, I'm being serious, I'm being real serious.
Well, what if we?
I was thinking 120 days. But, I'm thinking.
We're gonna have to start selling candy in the village. No, I'm being
I was
serious.
thinking just kick off the summer so that, you
Because
know,
I mean, I think the board's behind it, and we all know there's,
Yeah.
it takes money to make things move.
well, I'm just thinking, just in doing something in the downtown area, the 4 blocks, if we had $5,000 to $10,000 to where we could go in and figure out what needs to be done, and we could implement that immediately in spring. And then we would immediately have something that says, oh, look, they are alive.
You talking about
But if you
benches
have no
and-
budget, or if there's $2,000,
Something.
you can hang a couple signs,
I know.
but.
Because you can ask me, I'm banned on spending money in Central Lake right now. I mean, I really, if it's there, I think we need to spend it, I think we need to put our town, I think we need to make it grow or watch it die. And I think we're at that point where we have to spend.
Yep.
Selling it to the entire rest of the community, but I'll take it to the board, I seriously will. $2,000, you're gonna spend it printing flyers to tell them we're gonna think about doing something we have no money for.
Right.
You know, I mean, I'm serious, it's money well invested, you gotta look down the road.
Yeah, and maybe we could turn that $5,000 or $10,000, you know, was into a lot more by volunteer hours and.
There's a couple things that I'm thinking of right off the bat, is putting a lot of planters out in the downtown area. And we did that in East Jordan with the little flower boxes.
Around
And all the
trees.
businesses took a flower box and they planted the flowers, and we said, you know, it can't be something that grows so high or so wide or so, you know. But each one watered them, they took care of themselves, and maybe trying to put something together for spring like that. And also, and again, I haven't talked to you about this, but I would like to see us put some kind of benches or tables all the way up and down to downtown that invites people to come and sit down anywhere and everywhere. And it just gives that welcome feeling.
And to kind of piggyback on that, you know, there's that little lot there next to Corey's place that I own, and there's like that fence. I'd be willing to move that fence back and turn that into a little courtyard spot where people can sit and enjoy their ice cream.
Now, didn't you
And then-
have,
Love it, I've thought that for a long time.
didn't you have, or talk to Chad
Yeah,
Fletcher
and
about
Chad
that?
Fletcher proposed to me, we wanted to get it done by the 4th of July, but it didn't work out. But, you know, that he'd be willing to donate some time to help get that
Cleaning it
going.
up.
and
That'd be really cool.
That'd be really cool.
Especially
But
with some benches and
there's a
stuff
couple of
back there.
stumps back there
We
and stuff
put a
like
big
that
sign,
that he probably
DDA.
his tractors.
Well, they used to
have
call it
pulled
something,
out.
like Sage Park or something, back to the Historical
Yeah,
Society has
Historical
that.
Society.
Yeah.
How far back are we talking, just like, no, I'm serious, it's a serious thing, how are we talking, 10 feet, 20?
I'm not sure, because I don't have any depth
Okay.
perception, so this could be 10 feet, I have no idea. But, you know, just nice enough, so it's a nice little spot where, a shady spot where
Double what it
people
is.
can, double
Okay.
what it is.
Because the problem with benches and tables on the sidewalks, the ADA will be all over us, because they set the rules. Because we've been through with the tables that were in front of Brothers.
Okay.
They tell you how much room has to be there, how much room has to be in front of the doorways, how much clear space there has to be. I'm all for it too, but we just have to make sure we abide by ADA
Yeah.
guidelines.
Do something in conjunction with all this. that
I think normally it's 3 foot of open space at least, 36 to 42 inches around.
Between what and what?
Everything, between the curb and
The
open,
structure,
open
whatever.
Oh,
space.
Stuff.
And I think every so often there has to be space for 2 wheelchairs to pass.
And then
well, yeah, I'm not talking about creating a dining area.
No, but I mean, anyone who puts them out onto the
Yeah.
sidewalk.
Yeah,
places-
but if you can go right up next to the buildings.
Yes, if you put them up like where yours are, I think we're fine.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying, doing that throughout the downtown,
And man.
so, and all matching.
I'm for that.
So-
I'm
so
for
there's-
like benches, we work with building trades on maybe building, some of the art students painted our
Well, they
buildings,
have
maybe they
those-
can work on flower boxes, we can incorporate the school into some of this stuff.
And that's where the big,
I think
having a
there's-
budget and being able to, get that free labor, we can pay for
Oh,
that,
yeah.
pay or get
I think
donations.
Well, that's what I was saying, if
From
we
years
had somewhere
ago,
around,
in front of
$7,000 to $10,000,
Doctor's office, right?
to where we could immediately start looking at what do we wanna do between now and spring to put in immediately,
Yeah.
that would be a huge bump. But,
I'll take it.
I'd also like to
Ask
see
for
the
10,
flags.
go for 5.
Ask for
20.
15.
Yeah, 20.
Ask for 20,
Ask for
go
20.
for 10.
We'll make a heck of a deal today, 10,000.
But if you do get the school involved, that is free labor. You just
Yeah.
tell
Yeah.
Mr. Johnson what you want.
Tell Gary what
And
you
you
want,
buy
and
the
you make sure.
materials
Yes.
and
That's it.
And let's have some things on paper for the council, so they see they really are gonna spend this $8,000 to $10,000 on this to promote our,
And if-
not even to
and
promote
if-
downtown, to make
I
our
would say
downtown area.
primarily
Yeah, it's already
planters and
nice.
seating in the downtown area.
That sounds, that's reasonable.
That means that's.
Does everybody saw the new
Well,
LED
our
lights, right?
committee-
I love the new
Is
LED.
that what they did, they
That would
changed
be
them all
changing
out?
it around.
Aren't they nice? They really are.
I
Huge.
saw that they.
Huge
Huge.
improvement.
But primarily the
Yeah,
four
you go
blocks.
downtown.
Which is-
Doesn't go across the street,
All the lights down on the side. Oh, it's
but,
big.
I don't know, I mean, it's,
It could be the whole downtown, the downtown district is pretty much, it goes from the edge of the Pelican, technically speaking, all the way, if you just do the main street downtown, edge of the Pelican, the far edge, all the way to, like the
The
Mason's
corner where
Lodge.
Frontier.
Well, I had to breathe
yeah.
on the bank just to get them to, mow that lawn. I actually called Ted up hey, I'm paying to have your lawn mowed, what kind of deal are you gonna give me here? You know, and, finally, they started grooming their lawn, that lot they bought, you know, so they finally started grooming that. But a flower pot on the corner of that wouldn't hurt anything, I mean.
Well, that's something, in getting into committees that they can look at that and see what we can do. I'd like to see new flags put on all the lampposts. I think the flags there are 10 years old or better and are due for some updates.
I'd like to see the DDA talk to the bank about the vacant lot.
I've been
The
talking.
village has done that with them a few times.
Yeah.
I know they don't wanna sell it, they don't wanna give it up, but how about we use it as a parking lot for the downtown area?
Where is it?
It's
Right,
just
just-
north of the
Where
bank,
that-
where they burnt that house
Where the
down.
house was
Oh,
burned.
okay.
How about we put porta potties there so there's a restroom?
There you go. Well, that's something the committees can look at. So I think,
All right, let's get back to the committee.
yeah, I think as we're going through
You know, we're
this,
having another vacant building downtown area now too, right?
Dr. Dibble,
Dibble.
is that going for sale?
I don't know what he's gonna do with his his, but he's moving.
That's a
on.
beautiful historic building.
Is he retiring?
Don't
He's
let him burn.
moving, he's going in with a couple other people in Bel Air. Semi-retired, this is the way to
It
semi-retire.
It was the new
Yeah.
post office we looked at.
Yeah.
Huh.
So there's another building.
So that's an opportunity to attract a business for one of these committees. I mean, well, maybe, if he's gonna use that for that.
I'm sure he'll use it.
So do
for
we need to
something.
get something on paper to bring to the village council meeting next week, saying this is what we'd like to have, you know, $30,000?
Yeah.
It keeps it growing every time I ask.
I thought you
I'm gonna
said
cut the bottom 2/3 off if you ask for 30. No, but I'm saying they're gonna wanna see something.
Well, they've
Yeah, I'd
got
say we
some-
got $10,000, but we
Just
got to
give us
spend it
30
on.
grand,
We'd like,
we're
yeah,
not
they
sure
wanna
what
know
we're
what
gonna
you're
do.
gonna
Okay.
do, what your plans are.
Okay.
And keep it simple.
Yeah, no,
Now-
yeah, flower boxes,
You
bottles,
want things that are gonna-
benches,
Right.
fine,
Everybody's
whatever,
gonna
that-
see the minute you come downtown.
That basic.
Well, is
Yeah,
that,
big.
is that something that we should quick get with Gary about and spend a couple hours with Gary, telling him how
Gary.
many benches we want and how many
Oh.
flower boxes we want
I
and
don't-
stuff like that, and see if it's something that the kids in the building trades have time to do over the
We
winter?
have a week to figure this out, so I don't know.
I wanna-
Well, we
I
need
wanna
to hurry up
about
and
that
form
right
a
now.
committee that's
If
gonna
it
do
comes too
that
later, then
task.
they'll have the money.
That's true.
But having definite numbers, would that help with the council's decision?
I don't
to
think
give
that's
us
be
any money?
definite, I don't think
No.
definite, I'm just saying, if you say we think we're gonna spend $2,000 on flower boxes, they don't wanna know it's 400 pieces of plywood, or X dollars.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
blue on
That should
one
be
side,
real basic.
orange on the
Yep.
other, and it's gonna be red flowers.
You know, let's come up with something, maybe Tom and I could get together and talk, or if anybody else wants to too. I don't mind, we'll make it happen.
And I think, well, like Missy said, we'll, get a committee and then they can do it, but the Bachman thing, you know, that courtyard would be huge.
I think
Oh,
so
that
too.
would be,
Yeah.
That would be a good thing, and,
By this 4th of July.
Yes.
yeah,
But a
definitely.
lot of that, well, I think we can get people to donate for that, and I think we can get up the labor to do it.
Maybe the village.
I've got
We're
people
willing to make
donating.
it a DDA project, it's gonna make us look
for
good.
real?
Yeah,
It's a little?
if I'm letting the village, I mean, if I'm letting people publicly use that spot, you know, maybe they need a little tax break. Something.
You're sacrificing that space.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful,
Got-
because that becomes.
you know, it
public
increases
use
the
and
value.
it's
Don't bring that up.
Yeah, but that money goes to the DDA.
I can see Jim coming already, it's like, no.
All right, so, do you
More
want to form,
fixtures?
if we form these committees right now, are we gonna have time for a committee to go ahead and meet and get this figured out, so we can have this in for next Thursday?
But let's just go ahead and do this on the side.
On the
Yeah,
side, that way,
that's
You've got it, we know it's done, and
Yeah.
all right,
Okay.
is that a motion?
I would be happy to, or, does anybody else want to do it? Do you want two of us to do it, or?
Are we still talking about just the boxes and benches? and-
Yeah,
We're
budget.
talking about a
Yeah.
budget
Budget
proposal
proposal.
for the
Budget
village.
proposal for the
Yeah.
village.
I can help with that.
Okay. All right.
Does the treasurer wanna help with the budget proposal?
Yes.
All right, so the four of us maybe, and just meet for like a half hour, 45 minutes sometime in the next
Budget proposal.
week, and throw something on paper?
Yeah.
Okay, just meet downtown, in my shop, or Bart, or even Fudge's.
Because in the next couple of days too, we should hear on our grant, so if we all keep our fingers crossed, if we get it, that's gonna be a big thing to build on comes from.
All right, so, do we need to have a
Decision
motion to do this, or is this just a decision that we
December
made?
4th, yesterday,
I think
that they haven't put it
Chair
out.
can make the.
Because
Missy
Missy
said
said
that
that
she
she
saw
saw
some of them.
something we were not on.
It was on the, what, 9 and 10, 7 and 4,
For what grant?
DNR grant?
The land and water,
Well, we didn't apply under land water acquisition,
okay.
or passport, we applied through Michigan Trust Fund, which I just talked to the grant coordinator today. I think she knew, but she wouldn't tell me because they officially haven't released it yet, but there's 3 grant programs.
Okay,
Land and water, they took almost all the money away from all the grants because they gave everybody for doing dredging because of the water.
695,000.
Yeah, they took all that away, and we didn't apply for recreation passport, we're Michigan Natural Resources Trust Fund grant. But within the next, hopefully by the first part, we'll get good.
So what kind of read did you get off?
What's that?
What kind of read did you get off?
That she'd like to tell me what she knew but wouldn't.
Well,
So I mean, I'm just
Ken,
saying,
you're really
I
gonna be
think we
happy
asked
tomorrow.
we asked for $162,000, we'll match 80 of it, so it's a $250,000 project. I think the DNR gets a lot of bang for their bucks for $162,000, which brings me to another point I'd like to hear the DDA's thought on this. The vacant lot that Ron Brewer owns by our park.
Right. The one on the
should
corner,
buy-
across
one
the
that's
street.
That,
the
oh,
one
right
that's
here,
for sale.
here's
Right
my
next
thought,
door.
I would love to go to Ron and say, Ron, will you at least sign, so the village has right of first refusal, and we can apply for that in the next grant cycle, through a land acquisition grant. DNR, I gotta tell you, I've been to their meetings, they love purchasing property. That's adjacent to our park, no, I mean, that is, it's adjacent to our park, which is on the water,
That'd be great
You know what I mean?
for,
and I would like, and I'll take that to the council too, and say the DDA would like to see, we have nothing to lose.
it'd be a great
You know,
spot for.
And if somebody
events.
comes up around and says, we'd like to buy it, then at least we got first right of refusal. The village say, we're willing to pay full price for it, because I don't think we're ever getting an opportunity to buy much other land around our park.
Yeah, you're
You know,
right.
what we use it for, I don't know, but we have it, you know, another pavilion, more parks,
It'll
more
make
playground,
more
more,
Because
whatever.
draw people into Central Lake.
you know.
I mean, it's kind of reasonable.
Hey, let's do this committee.
All right, let's pull it back around.
You know, Jerry Wilson.
Fox wants to make
Right
committees
there,
now.
that's gonna be up for
All right.
sale, maybe already.
It's already.
So, okay, I will bring that up to the council.
Let's pull it back around because I think we need to pull it back around. It was a request by a board member. So let's go ahead and, do we want to go ahead and form these committees as they're proposed by the Main Street program?
Any more discussion on
Is
it?
there any more discussion on it before we, so let's, do we have a motion?
I make the motion that we assign committee chairs to the four, I don't know what you wanna call
Four committees.
them, four committees.
Organization, promotion, yep.
Yeah, organization, promotion, design, and economic restructuring. Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor? Aye. Nobody is opposed? That passes. Now, how do we, do we want to take volunteers, or who wants to chair these committees?
I will volunteer to help with the promotional part. I don't want to be a chairman.
That works. I will.
I'm not sure how to remember one of these committees.
Chair.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not an attorney. I'm not an accountant.
What are you?
I will do the design if you want a chair for that.
You, okay?
And Tom wants to chair,
Yep, Tom wants to chair the design.
all right, and Mr. Martin does not want to chair, but he wants to be on promotion.
What organization?
I would like to help with it. I don't think I can
Brian wants to be,
take the time for chairing right now.
Same here, I'm willing to help on any committee. I would love to commit to chair one, I just cannot, I'm sorry, I just can't.
so which one do you want to volunteer for?
Oh,
Melissa?
Mighty Mo?
Hey, Melissa.
Melissa,
What?
you're pretty good at promotions. Not bad at
The
organization.
organization really requires somebody that is local, that knows the lay of the land, and, yeah, can kind of bring it all together. That might be a, for you if you're interested. Merry Christmas.
No, we could really use the help.
I'll help Melissa on organization if she's willing to chair that one.
I'll help Tom with design, I don't want to chair.
I'll be your elf.
I'm gonna
Bart
help with
wants to
design
help
too.
with design,
I'm gonna help with design too.
Corey wants to help with design,
Nobody's touched that.
nobody wants economic.
I'll chair economic restructuring.
Corey wants to chair economic.
Surprise! One more thing I have to do, honey.
Okay, and did we decide Michelle and Missy want to do organization?
No, we didn't decide.
We didn't? When will we know?
Does anybody want to help Corey with economics? Does anybody want to chair promotion?
I'll help Corey with economic restructuring.
We could
Okay.
have double committee meetings.
Why don't,
We're just one follows the other.
Where's the rest
Can we-
of the
can we-
fall here?
can we put organization and promotion together to just get us started? And then it'd be,
I'd rather have somebody like take the reins of it and run different.
Will you chair it if we put them together?
well, if it's me and Martin and Michelle, I think that's a pretty strong set to get us going there. And then later on, chop off, you know, divide the
That's what we
committees.
get all these volunteers that's just gonna pour in here.
Well, the weird thing is the organization.
I think that's a great idea.
Promotions doesn't.
I don't
I
think
would
it's
be
that much
willing
for
to chair the
organization to
organization
do.
and promotions, and then later on, as we grow and get bigger,
Well, they almost go hand
Divide
in
it.
hand, you can't do one without the other anyhow.
yeah.
So I think putting those two together would be a great idea.
So you're chairing both?
No, it's just gonna be one committee,
Make it the
just call it
organization and-
organization and promotion.
Gotcha.
There you go. That works.
Okay, so
Okay.
Missy wants to do
This
that.
is chairing it with
Okay.
Michelle and Mark, right?
And I think Brian was on organization.
Right.
And Brian.
Woo-hoo. And Michelle. Okay, so technically, we
Michelle.
combine promotion and organization. We've got Martin, Michelle, Brian, and Missy. Then we've got economics,
Wait a
Who's
which
the chair of the
Corey
organization?
and time. Oh, Missy.
Wait, what?
You start
I heard my
over.
name twice.
I'm
What?
trying to write down.
Melissa?
What
ready?
organization, who do you have?
Organization and
We
promotion.
combined the organization and promotion together.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I've got Martin, Michelle, Brian, and the chair's Missy.
So 4 of us.
Yep.
That's good.
Sounds reasonable.
Design, Tom is chairing, and then Bart and Corey are
This is
helping.
yours.
And then economics and restructuring, I've got Corey, chair, and Tom.
Are we gonna volunteer Randy because he's not here for something?
Oh, yeah, let's start a whole new committee. You're not gonna just another meeting.
He couldn't make it, he had to work, so.
You might wanna be on that economic restructuring.
I think that'd be a great idea.
Yeah.
Randy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's chair of economic? I'm sorry, that's Corey.
Corey.
And
And Tom is helping, and we just signed Randy up top.
Randy and Tom. All right.
Good stuff. Well, that gets us started anyway.
Oh, I think
And then
so.
I think the chair of every committee needs to kind of take the reins of it and just follow how they have it laid out and see by the next meeting if we can at least have some kind of baseline or suggestions that you want to pursue. I mean, that,
Anything legal.
that's anything legal, yeah.
I'd like to take a step further. I'd like for everybody to look at all three organizations and put little comments or what's
Yeah.
the area down.
For everybody.
Yeah, for each area. And you, I mean, we can throw away the ones we don't like and take the top 10 or something.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
but
That's it. So by next meeting?
By the next meeting. And then by the next meeting, you and I were gonna, and Bart,
Yeah.
we're gonna, and was it Brian coming too with the?
Brian, Corey,
Brian.
Tom, and Bart for the budget proposal for next Thursday's
You're gonna get all of us who will, anytime during the day,
council meeting.
but I don't know what Ryan.
He's evenings.
Yeah.
He's
I can call him in the
later
evening and tell him
evenings.
what we talked about and see if there's anything he wants to add and let everybody know or something.
I'd like to review and put some input in, but I don't know, I won't be able to physically be there.
I'm out of town Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week.
So we have to do it before this weekend.
You gotta do it after.
That would be tomorrow.
They've got till 10.
Yeah.
I didn't realize we were gonna.
They got this stuff called email too, though, right? You don't have to physically be places.
And they've got Skype.
Yeah.
Budget proposal, I'll put that in my notes here. All right, so we have the meetings, we have, or the committees, budget proposals for tomorrow for me. And then, does anybody else have any other discussion about the committees or at the moment, any questions? Any thoughts before I move on?
Who's gonna do the letter for the sidewalks?
Corey.
Corey, you're a busy man.
There he is.
I get to drive a bus.
Why don't you do it?
He'll do that while he's up.
It looks better coming from somewhere than me.
Yeah.
I'll do it if you tell me this. how many inches of snow do you want on the sidewalk when you're expecting to come clean it up?
What happened?
Sure.
Half inch.
How about
That's a lot of overtime.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do.
I say two.
two?
Because what we gotta realize is if we get them to come and do it, that you're not gonna have that problem of buildup at the curb.
Yeah,
That's the whole thing I wanna get away. So we
Yeah.
said, you get up in the morning, there's 2 inches of snow on, we want you to go downtown first.
Yes,
We want all the
yes, yes.
snow, I've already talked to Sam, we want the sidewalks cleaned up, the snow pushed down the street, we want it out of town.
Yes.
Sounds reasonable.
Good,
2 inches.
good,
I'll
thanks,
talk to
Kenny.
Nichols about putting it.
I'll be so glad to get that behind us, believe me, it's been a ongoing battle between the community and the council really didn't know what people thought, so I'm glad you guys go.
Well, we gotta make sure we know what.
So are you gonna go ahead and do a letter and whatever, or do you
This
want?
month.
I know.
I'll put something together, just take.
I'll be there.
Yeah, let him
I'll probably be
go,
there.
Kenny.
You can sign it or?
If they say, how about 2.5, you want me to really put my foot down and say, 2? No.
2 to 3, Kenny.
No,
Well, who's measuring?
I think 2 is realistic, I think it's,
2 is good.
I
Yeah.
think it's a good.
I actually have a
So it's-
snow measurer at Bachman's that you can purchase.
You gotta buy it.
Is there a
Did I just hear Michelle out there check the snow report?
At
At 5, no, they didn't even know,
I
by I
can
think
take-
3, because they literally come in at like 4.
outside.
Is there any chance we could also request that they consider the downtown to be a priority? I don't know if they have them prioritize different areas, they hit at different times,
You mean, and
as far as snow removal and
All the
that.
time.
I think
So
downtown
that
should
they
be,
consider it to be a
I
priority.
think downtown should be first. We're gonna focus a lot on downtown come spring too, clean up sidewalks, everything, because
Weeds
I
and sidewalks.
don't say to all the members in the village, but the village of Central Lake is downtown Central Lake. That's why we're a village, you know, what I mean, we're not just a group of people living together.
Can I throw something out when you're done? Go ahead.
Okay.
You done? When you guys bring all that snow in front of the shop there,
We give it to you for free, don't worry about that.
that's true.
The
And
dirt
all the
too.
and all the garbage that goes with it. Yeah, because when all the snow melts, all the garbage
You
is
really
there.
didn't get cleaned up?
He's right, that is.
Not for a
outside.
long time, sometimes I go out there and I
We
shake
had
it
a
all.
discussion a little bit last year too, where we dump piles of snow, as soon as the snow's gone, the priority is, we actually put it in somebody's lawn, which they let us do, their side lot, and it didn't get cleaned up.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
there's no,
I would not be happy. if
No,
they-
I
there's
have
lots
to-
of little things we've noticed, like fire hydrants should be painted around town, it just looks better, it's a
Yeah.
fresher feel. Somebody else brought up last night that,
Well,
why don't we get
move
people that
that
are
snow
doing
pile out of Martin's
community
driveway.
service to help us in the spring clean up the, I mean, it was a good idea. Like,
Oh.
there's kids that got into community service, we wonder how do we get town, as soon as the snow's gone, town should be clean.
What about all the
It's
non-people
manpower,
jails that need
that's what we just said, so
service?
community
Yeah.
service people, maybe this spring, we'll look at that, bring them in town for a week or
Yeah.
two and.
Randy
idea.
Gary used to get them at the dump all the time.
Maybe
The
they can buy
village
lunch at the
market
pizza
is
place too.
paying-
Oh, that's right, the village market has a volunteer program now.
Yeah, it's just something we need, as a village, we need to think of more things like that, it's good to have the DDA here giving the council some
We don't have that.
I think we got enough.
guidance.
Alright, so we're good there?
Mhm.
Alright, and then the next item on here, we kinda talked about, and I think we can kinda skip over this because it's a part of the
Committees.
committees now. And we'll look at that, that'd be under the design committee, I believe.
Which is Tom, Bart, and Cory.
Yep. DDA members. Alright, so, we have a board of 12. Rob and Holly are unable to make it on Wednesday nights, so they've graciously stepped down. They just have a hard time, apparently they have 5 children, and
So we can get a resident.
Did we just find that
We
out?
should get a resident,
Yeah,
someone
five
that
children.
lives in the DDA.
Seriously, yeah, we just found out
I
not too
don't
long ago
know.
that they've got 5 kids, 1 car, and 1 job.
Yeah,
between them.
So we got a spot.
They're doing a lot more than.
there are a couple positions that will be available on the board, but I don't wanna just willy-nilly pick somebody. I want some I'd like to have some expertise, in my opinion, on the board.
Besides all the expertise we already have.
That's
You
right.
have to be.
Well, I'd like to see someone that lives in the DDA area,
Well,
a
they have to be.
resident.
It doesn't have to
Or-
be.
Well, they have
I
to be
know,
involved
they don't
either.
have to be, but it would be nice if
We
we
have
had
a
a
minimum,
resident.
we have the minimum required right now to get anybody we want. We have enough people that have interest in the downtown area. So we have to have a majority of the board, so over 7, I think, have to have an interest in a business, own a piece of property, or live in the downtown area, or work in the downtown area.
And we already have that with the ones, not including,
Rob and Holly.
Rob and Holly, we already have that. So anybody from here on out
Can be.
is basically a freebie.
So if we have like somebody
You
that's,
know.
Who lives, we have someone that is a resident now, is that what you're saying?
No.
I don't know.
We don't have to have somebody, we don't have to.
No.
I'm saying that would be really cool if we did. I mean, people have mentioned
Right.
that before. I mean, I'd really like to see a resident.
Well,
I don't know who.
I was
I'm
gonna
just
say,
saying.
do you have somebody in mind? 'Cause
No, I
there's really
don't.
not
I'm
a
just
lot.
saying it'd be
There
nice
is,
if
there's
we
like
did.
five.
There's
Keep in mind, it doesn't hurt to leave these open until we find the
Yeah,
right
I
person.
think.
I would love to see a resident, but I just don't want somebody that's a
Yeah, we
resident.
don't have to fill the
I'd like to
spot
have somebody
today.
bring
Just leave it
something.
open until we
Yeah.
get someone that cares.
Mhm.
Well, yeah.
Well,
that would
it
be
brings,
awesome.
brings some, I like the idea of their expertise, somebody that's got some, if there's a bunch of kids in the apartments or young people starting out that, you know, yeah, they provide a little bit of labor, but, you know, maybe get a young professional somewhere that just floating around wants a home.
Now, right, and I'd like to have somebody that's got some experience, like, for instance, I do know of one person that's expressed interest in being on the board. She's the president of the PTO here in Central Lake. She's expressed an interest, she's
She
taken the
served on,
PTO.
she served on the East Jordan board
Oh.
through the bank that she was working at the time
Something we can
and
do
stuff like that, so she's done it before.
She's experienced
Very
in fundraisers and putting on
self-motivated,
events.
very
Who is this?
whatever.
Brianne Dawson.
Say that one more time. She's experienced in doing what?
Events and fundraising. She's taken the budget of the PTO from like $500 a year to, they've got like 10 grand in the bank.
In
So
4
can-
years.
Can we vote on this right now?
She should write a letter. and
We need
She's-
fundraising.
She's
She's
talked
got
about it,
experience.
she's expressed,
I mean, to
she's
make you
expressed
think that, I
an
would-
interest.
She couldn't make it tonight, but she can be here at the next meeting. She's expressed an interest, and I told her, you know, I asked her to be here, but she couldn't.
I think that'd
And
be.
if her interest, I think some people get a little confused, if her interest is just in helping with events and promotions, I think that's great. I think sometimes they think they have to help with everything. No, they don't, it's just, we have 12 people on here.
Well, and she
If
does
one
that.
says, I would love to do it, and I'm good at it, we don't have to ask her any questions about anything else.
Well, what I like to say-
The financials or the plan in downtown,
And she works out of the home, so she's very flexible in her scheduling.
talk to her. I'm all for it.
She's for it. I talked to her today again.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I saw
Well,
her
she
today.
should do like anybody would, write a letter of
Yeah,
interest,
she should.
come to
Yeah.
a meeting.
Her kids are, elementary age, they're doing the Christmas
She's a
program,
nice
she
girl.
wasn't
Let's see
gonna,
her here.
she wasn't
Well,
gonna
it's tonight,
skip out on,
yeah.
yeah, she wasn't gonna skip
Yeah,
out on
sure.
Ellie's stuff
Yeah.
to come.
Okay,
I'll
also,
But I'd like to see people like that with a proven track record, something that can be shown. And it'd be kind of nice to say, you know, get an expert on economic restructuring. You know, I don't know where you get somebody from a bank, I mean, that, somebody that's got experience in drawing in businesses. I mean, I don't know, those kind of people that can help us
Well, they
with
can
goals.
all be,
Okay.
I don't think we're in a big mad rush to fill that one last spot, you know? I
Right.
mean, maybe as the meetings go on and where committees are going, then someone will go, yeah, I can be helpful. Because right now, nobody does even know what we're doing.
I liked your idea also about having her fill out something or just send us a letter stating what she's done and where she's been and then maybe address the board and give us a letter and, you know, at
Yeah.
that point. That way we create a formal way of,
oh, yeah, definitely.
it's just not sitting around here saying, gee, Joe'd be good. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea, and I'll pass that along to her directly, and I'm
She'll
sure
do
we'll
it.
see
She's
her.
a good girl. I'd love to see her on this board.
I think she'd do well with it. I think she'd do good with the fundraisers and the promotions.
She's a very happy-go-lucky, go-get-em type
She was a cheerleader in high
type of
school.
personality, and she still has that
Still
cheerleader
is.
personality 20 years later.
She's very, very much the stereotypical.
Few of the
I tried to
other
play
committees.
basketball back in the day too, and I can't now.
Alright, so on to the next thing. Well, as far as
I've got
DDA
one of
members.
We're not hiring you for the basketball fundraiser.
Corey?
I'm about ready to send out a bunch of flyers, okay? And a lot of times I piggyback them on something on the back of it. So if the DDA can come up with something nice to put on there looking, you know, you got, do you have experience? You wanna volunteer? You wanna come in and give us some advice?
That's true.
Something,
Call
you
out.
know, I'm gonna need something
Call out.
soon though.
Is it one of the mailers? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, we talked about doing that with you, and I
I'll probably put the lions on it. The Masons are almost done for the year.
I'll tell you what, it probably wouldn't hurt to say the DDA has just formed 3 committees and they're looking for volunteers if you're interested.
They don't have to be committed, but come in for advice, come in for, you know, if they
Well,
wanna
Yeah,
be.
they don't have to be
People
part of
just
the
need to
board,
know
they
we've
can
been
just
having
be part of
meetings.
your committee.
And that's,
If they got tons of
Board.
experience out there, that's one way of, you know, there's a lot of retired people out there that might not want to be here every month, you know, but they can come in and give us some great ideas.
But I like, you know, putting something on there that, hey, we just formed 3 committees for the
Right.
essentially like DDA. If you're looking to volunteer, would like to help out.
So if we can get something together before,
Just a
within the
short
next
little-
week or so, then I can get with Jackie and.
Stop by Mission Computers.
So I see that being a real aid to us in
8
moving
to 11
quickly.
PM.
But bringing them in to sit down in here, it's never gonna happen. I mean, they may come for a few weeks or a few months, but eventually, you know, this is more than I've ever seen at the East Jordan DDA meeting. And 2 of ours are chamber.
If you get a handful of people that really love Central Lake, you know, if
Get 'em
I'm
on
gonna
the
send out
committee.
2,500,
We'll get them on.
If
Well,
I'm
the
sending out
problem is people
2,500
don't
flyers
know
and
what we're
only
doing right
10
now.
of
They
them
just
say,
know there's a
wow,
DDA,
I really
they
wanna
know
be
what we're
involved
doing,
in
when
this.
we're
Well, if we can get those guys on a
doing it.
committee,
Well,
so they don't have to attend the
meeting.
meetings, but
Right.
we can use their access.
Right.
You can coincide.
Well then, do we want, is there a motion to do this? Is it gonna, is there a cost involved?
Who's
Is there a cost in it?
Yeah, but I'll take care of that.
What?
He's offering it, he's offering the other side.
Right,
I mean,
there's a
there's-
little extra charge for the other side of it, but,
Well, we'll definitely get that snow moved then.
maybe I'll get it moved quicker. And trash.
You think it just melted on its own? Come on.
Just
Yeah.
You just take the rain.
So, I mean, does somebody wanna work with Martin and get whatever message we wanna get out
Yeah,
there?
Michelle and I got it.
Okay.
And Melissa.
All right.
Oh yeah, that's part of our promotion.
Yeah, it is, there it is.
Yeah.
And so, this is,
Melissa, you're the woman, yep.
this is to show that, to say that, what, we have these 3 committees that form under our DDA and we're looking for volunteers.
Right,
That's the scope of this.
right,
Okay.
To help us revitalize downtown Central Lake.
yep.
That's
That's,
basically our goal, I hope, is to
Well, we
revitalize
started
downtown.
an intro letter a long time ago, it still isn't finished, maybe this is the time that we say a little, like, 1-paragraph intro, and then something about the 3 committees, contact us, blah, blah, blah.
I'd
Real
like to
simple,
see
we're
it.
not trying to sell the DDA, we
Right,
just want people to know that it's here.
right, and if they don't
Yeah.
know,
I just should keep them separate. I think that just do this with the DDA, you do have to figure out a contact though for these people, or invite them to the meeting, one of the 2 in that. But I wouldn't include that with that, I think we need to finish that and get that out.
and that's my fault,
Yeah, that's-
the letter's not finished, cause I was in an accident and I was
Does
ill.
the DDA have an email?
The DDA, it does not have an email.
What's the DDA Gmail?
We decided not to do email with that. That is strictly, I've sent that to you a couple times, that's strictly a Gmail account for the Google Drive. That's all it is. It's not to send or receive any correspondence to that email.
How long would it take to,
A
do
lot.
we want a DDA email for
A
people to
lot.
respond to?
Why
Yeah.
don't
Because
we
that was
have
the
an
decision that was
email?
made by the board 2 meetings ago. So we decided not to do
We
email.
had talked about a website, we had
Cost
talked about
No,
emails, we had
So
talked
we
about.
definitely need an
it
email.
was, we didn't wanna choose a domain and have a contact information that was out there that was false. Like, like if you wanted to have DDA@centrallakemi.org, or, do we want that to always be the email address? I mean,
Right.
that was the issue at the time. Now, we could have a DDA@centrallakemi.org if we talked to the village.
I
mean,
thought we
that-
decided to be part, like to have an email through
Is-
the
is-
village.
Corey, is there
I thought
available
too.
one left?
Yes,
We had talked about adding a page.
How would that, we would
to
assign that a separate
communication.
password,
yes.
and it would come to where?
It would come to wherever we told it to go to, it would just be available via webmail.
That's something that can happen, and like, but somebody has to agree to check, whether that's you or
Yeah.
whoever, because nobody wants to bother with phone calls all day, understand, everybody's running a business and got things to do, but we need an email
I
address.
think a secretary should check that.
Well, it could just.
I would think the guy should talk to his wife about it,
Right, you could just.
Where's that?
but no, I mean, I can't say
All
what the council's
correspondence
saying, but
theory
if
should
there's
go through the
available
secretary, you
spot,
disperse it to
maybe
whatever
reason why it
committee or
shouldn't be
person
DDA,
needs
it
to.
says like
There you go.
nation.org, like every other village email address.
Do we have a phone for contact if somebody wanted to contact the DDA, or is it strictly throrough the village?
And we've got the village phone number, but if somebody wants to put my phone number out there, I don't mind.
If somebody called asking for the
Have enough
DDA into the village, would they just?
At least they call me.
Forward
I
on the
think
message.
she,
Rachel
I
would
think
probably
she'd have to
forward us on to
contact
Corey.
Corey, but maybe we do need, we either need his number or I need to talk to Rachel about how to handle the phone calls come in there.
I would,
Let's make it,
I would
let's,
assume she would just transfer it on into Corey, but
I
I
would
don't
think
know.
so too.
But be
It's
sure
not like
she
we're getting
knows.
1,000 calls or anything.
Well, we need to
That's-
have an email
that's what we're gonna
address
get.
and a phone number, so people can get to us
We
some
do.
one way or another.
would you care if it came to your phone mail, your voicemail? If she's just gonna forward it to you anyway, why
You
don't
might as well
you
just
call
send it
me
to
going
me.
through her? So why don't you just list your phone number?
Just
as
list
the
my
DDA
phone number.
contact?
And we'll list the business number, that way it goes to my business voicemail.
Okay.
And that way, I don't have to keep track of it on my cell phone, and we get interrupted throughout the day.
As long as they to me it'd be confusing if I called the DDA and got
I mean,
Michigan computers.
yeah, me too.
So you
Right,
might
I
as
mean, I
well
don't know, there's
Rachel
all these-
forward it to. Maybe have Rachel field those calls, and say, listen, here's the number for the DDA guy, it's at his business or something, and then.
Makes sense.
And that way, as it changes, not later on down the road, it's not my number attached to it, you know,
It's all
4 years down the road.
Isn't there, when you call the village, isn't it, to speak with Scott Barrett, press 1, or is there
Yeah,
anything
right.
like that? No, so we don't have one of those, your call is very important to us. Okay,
No, if you'd like to, we could do that, and say, we'll put you on hold, we'll do what you start. Play a beautiful
I read this
music.
As they
press
walk down the
one
street,
anyway,
then-
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
not that I know about, I don't even know if our system is capable of doing that. They just got a new phone system in there, the township, it's the township's phone system, and they just put a new system in.
Because there ought to be a way that the DDA can have it, its own little phone
Yeah,
box
phone,
or-
yeah.
And I don't know of any free ways to do it
But
off the
I
top of
mean,
my
through
head.
the village, piggyback on the village system if they've got.
Central Lake News spends $9 a month for a 1-800 number, and we get unlimited calls. We can forward it. It sends me a text and tells me the words that the person has said. So,
Send me the info for
For
that.
$9 a month.
yeah,
Where's that
Is
through?
it based
I
on?
can't remember. I gotta look it up. But someone will call me and they'll say blah 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 blah, and I'll get a text on my phone that says blah 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 blah.
That's a waste if they're just saying blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it is. You respond like,
I respond back blah 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 blah.
Yada,
It's
yada,
cheap
yada.
and it's
for $9
a number that you can
Why?
put on everything. You know.
Well, that's nothing that's gonna get set up in the next week to take care of this
Love
though.
it.
I mean, it could happen
You
in
will send it
15
to
minutes.
you
I
or whatever,
mean,
so you
for
can work it out.
Blunk, blunk, it's
Yeah.
done.
Blah, 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 it's not.
Blah blah blah.
See what you can figure out with that. and get-
But whatever you figure out, it should go on to
It should go, yeah, so it's gotta happen quick.
Right,
Yeah.
well, it can, I mean, I could put it on my debit card, I guess, to buy it until we get started.
We can probably reimburse you or something, I don't know if we can
Well,
submit
$10
expense
a month,
reports.
I can eat that, that's all right.
Okay, so you're gonna go ahead and do that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
is it okay if we run it through our press before it's released? I always think he should see everything that goes out of here.
I honestly do too. 'cause
Okay,
it's
good.
going
I know,
out
I
with
was
the
there.
flyer.
That'll be
I was
going
in your
out the
job,
first
I
part
worked
of
on it.
January. The
Pardon?
flyer will be gone out
When-
in January.
When do you
Well,
have
we
to
can
add
just-
it to the?
I would say before
Okay,
Christmas would be nice.
Okay, so Thursday, not,
Right.
I'm not gonna make a decision for the council, I can
Right.
guess 99.9% what they'll say, but it looks really bad, like I say,
I can lay it out.
go ahead and do
I
it.
can lay
But
it out.
if there's an available one left.
The flyers.
So we just gotta make up a flyer, and Alliance is gonna go on half of it probably, and,
Okay,
Yeah, you only got a little space, so,
right.
yeah,
okay.
okay.
And then we get, so there's a motion
They
to
read
do
this part,
this.
they read this part, they throw it away. But-
Is there a motion to actually proceed with this? 'Cause
Laid out.
I don't know if we've heard one.
It wasn't technically on the,
No, it wasn't, but if it's an
So how does
action
that
item,
work?
we're doing something that's gonna promote the DDA.
We do everyone. This is
is it an action item, is it new item?
I
No,
call
Yeah,
it
she-
business.
new business? Okay, even though it wasn't already on here.
It'll be set in your board policy how you handle your agenda. Agenda is just a guideline for the board members. Some boards don't let you amend it, some do. I tell you, the council, we amend it. If something comes up, we deal with it.
Right.
Okay, so flyers,
So we have a motion, there is no motion yet.
not yet. Somebody motion to,
I'll make a motion to get us some volunteers flyer,
I'll second it.
What are you looking for to do?
to make the flyer.
Oh,
To make to do the mailer with Martin. So there's a motion to do the mailer with Martin,
Approved by Corey,
approved by me,
the board
the
president.
board president.
Yep.
Do we have a second to that?
A second.
And all in favor?
okay, so who motioned it?
Melissa motion.
Okay, no. The one to have Corey's approval. Tom?
well, that-
Amended
Well, that was
motion.
all.
Oh, that's just kind of.
Yeah, that's
That's a
The way
courtesy,
it's
it
gonna be.
doesn't need to have a
So,
motion.
Another 20
Missy
years we'll have it
motion,
down pat.
well, then why do we have so many people seconding? I thought it was Missy motion and Martin
And Martin
seconded.
He did.
That's good.
Okay,
Okay, then we're good.
Hey, can I make a suggestion, just
No.
something at a meeting in Travers that we're gonna start doing at the village? When a motion's made, the person making the motion writes it down. Take the time, stop, write it down, write down who seconds it, and then at the end, you hand it to you, or that paper. And we're gonna do it in the village, so this confusion doesn't happen. It just, then you know exactly what you're voting on, it's been written down, it's on a piece of paper. It'd take 5 more minutes out of the meeting maybe, but then it would stop all this confusion. So I thought that was one good piece of advice I got on voting to Travers. And she likes it better, and there's no confusion amongst the board about, well, what you really said was, it's like, no. You know, because sometimes they'll get changed 3 times in the process of discussion, so in the end you read what the true one is
Before you vote on it.
before you vote on it. I think it's a great idea, I really do.
I agree.
That should go in the procedure.
And so that all,
Yes.
that motion, who was in favor?
Ray, or Martin.
Is there anybody opposed?
Wait a minute, what are we doing?
There was no,
We're voting.
on that flyer, we talked
Oh,
about
we
the
didn't
motion a
vote.
second, we didn't.
Okay.
Motion second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That's done. So we're gonna, so Missy and Martin
In Fox.
and Fox. On-
The
on-
PO
on mail.
committee.
That's right.
Okay.
Is that BO or PO?
PO to you.
Well,
Bill's
Brian-
at the end of the table.
Brian's
Oh,
technically on that
PO.
committee too, so are you doing it too?
All right, let's move on.
So we don't have our tasks.
Is there any public comment?
Question on the letter, I heard mention of going forward with the letter. It's just waiting.
It's just waiting to get done. I was in a car accident, took me a week to kind of recover from the insurance and,
It's just a
Stress
couple
and stuff.
typos and
Yeah.
editing, it's nothing major, it could probably be
it's
done.
disagreement with the wording and we'll figure it out. It's just a matter of,
Well, Corey
what's that
can
time?
just finish it, make it easy.
That's fine, we'll figure it out, I'm not worried about it. We'll get that done. Is there any other questions?
When will everyone know, like, besides January 2nd, the meeting's after?
I will get with the township clerk, Judy Kozlowski, and see if we can get, either myself or Ken, if I can get Ken to do it, and see if we can get on the schedule for the year. There was a conflicting date, a roaming conflicting date that we couldn't nail down when it was, so she didn't want to schedule anything. And so we just need to figure out if she's got that resolved, and then we can put the regular meeting dates on a flyer and get them all out so they're published. But I would anticipate, I would hope they would stay the first Wednesday of the month as we have them. Anything else?
If there was, I can't remember it.
Public comments closed. Do we have any board comments? Okay, we're good? Board comment session is closed. I have no chairman comments to take, so we've talked about it plenty. And motion for adjournment.
No, I want a second.
All right, I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion, or, meeting adjourned.
All right, so I'll bring that little map.
Email it to me.
Crap.
Okay.
Print it out. Martin?